What's up, YouTube? My name is Arlen and I'm back with another YouTube video. For today's video, we're going to be talking about how to get back into reading or how to become a reader. If you hear noises in the background, we just adopted a new puppy. We already had a dog, but now we adopted a new one, so now we have 2 dogs, and she is a lot of work, but it's all love nonetheless. And another disclaimer, I'm coming to you with skincare and vibes, obviously. It's been a crazy week since we adopted this puppy, but like I said, I love animals, so I'll do whatever it takes to make sure she's in a good home. So with that being said, let's really get into it. First thing, if you want to become a reader or if you want to get back into reading, is read short books and or books written in verse. For me, I have my go-to authors when it comes to books written in verse, and they are Jason Reynolds and Elizabeth Acevedo. They just, every time they write a book in verse, like I need more of it. Like, I love their work. They are so, like, they just write beautifully. The poetry is beautiful, and it tells you a story, a meaningful story. I live for them, and I definitely would recommend you guys check them out. Also, good advice, I think, if you're in a reading slump, which is to read books in verse, shorter books, listen to shorter audiobooks, things of that nature. And then another thing, when it comes to short books, I personally like to read Japanese lit. Favorite Japanese literature is Convenience Store Woman. Sweet Bean Paste was another one that I read that I really liked, but my favorite is Convenience Store Woman. I just love Convenience Store Woman because it was so relatable to me, working in retail forever, just trying to figure it out. But now I finally, find a place where I'm happy at. But people will tell you all kind of things, and it just takes time for you to figure life out. I'm not going to go on a separate tangent. If you're in kind of that spot in life, I definitely recommend Convenience Store Woman, and then also Sweet Bean Paste. It was a good book. However, I just felt like it was kind of missing something. I'm not sure what it was, but I felt like it was kind of lacking. And that could just be me. But overall, it's a beautiful story. Friendship and, how people treat people with disabilities and all the good people we have in the world, which is nice to hear about. So definitely check out Sweet Bean Paste. My next tip is to read everything, including nonfiction. For me, when I was first getting back into reading, I was reading personal development, I was reading memoirs, I was reading regular romance, I was reading horror. When you read everything, you find out what you like and what you don't like. So like for me, and this might be a little controversial and I'm so sorry, but I am not a Stephen King fan. I get the hype, I do. Just for me, like, I read 2 books by Stephen King and it just didn't hit. It's just the writing that turns me off, right? Because the story itself was not bad. I tried reading Fairy Tale and Billy Summers. I don't know, I'm not as worldly or cultured as y'all are when it comes to Stephen King. I'll recommend Stephen King books for me to try out, or like to retry. Maybe I was reading the wrong books. Definitely leave them down below because I would love to still give him a chance. For me, memoirs that I would recommend, because memoirs are my favorite nonfiction, I would recommend Jennifer Lewis's memoir, The Mother of Black Hollywood. It's the best memoir I've read thus far. I know people say Viola Davis's memoir is amazing. I haven't got to it yet. I also haven't got to Michelle Obama's because I hear a lot of good things about those two, but I will get to them. But as of right now, the best memoir that I've read is The Mother of Black Hollywood by Jennifer Lewis. It is so inspiring, eye-opening. She is literally my role model when it comes to Hollywood. I look up to her a lot, so definitely check that out. This next memoir is a little bit of history, a little bit of, a memoir, which is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. It teaches you a lot about apartheid, which in America we are not taught about apartheid. You know what apartheid is? but you don't know how bad it really got. And Trevor Noah's book teaches you a lot about that because he grew up in South Africa. So also, we love Trevor Noah in this house, and he's amazing. It's very informative, also very inspiring. I would definitely check that out. My third nonfiction is Atomic Habits. I know everybody has probably read this book at this point, and I think it's really important to learn how to stack habits in order to get to your goals. And I took some things from it, so I think everybody could benefit from it. Next thing, and I think this is the most important, which is use your local library. If you're a reader, you know what the library can do for you, how useful it is, how convenient it can be sometimes. At my library, obviously, probably at every library at this point, they use Libby. My library doesn't use that anymore. Actually, now that I think about it, they use something else called Cloud Library, which I'm not really a fan of. I preferred Libby, but it is what it is. They have, you know, physical books, audiobooks, ebooks. You don't have a library card, get a library card, girl. It's free. Like, what are you doing? Good thing when it comes to getting back into reading, when I talk about using your library, one of the services they offer, at least at my library, I'm not sure if it's at every library, but I just know it's at my library, so your library might have it too. But it is email your librarian and ask for book recs. So there's like a form that you fill out. It asks you like what TV shows do you like to watch, what other books have you read that you like, just a bunch of questions about that. And then the librarian will email you back and give you recs that you can check out from the library. I use this religiously. I recently emailed them asking about a manga. They didn't have it in stock, but I filled out a form, you know, like the recommendation form, and they gave me what was like the books that were similar, the manga that was similar to it. And yeah, it's really, really helpful, especially like if you're kind of stuck and you don't know what to read. Definitely utilize that. Last thing when it comes to libraries, book clubs. A book club will hold you accountable. It'll give you something to read. I mean, you can find a book club anywhere, but if you want local, you know, you can make friends in a book club. If you want something more local than on the internet, definitely look out, you know, follow your library on social and look out to see what's out there when it comes to book clubs and the different services your library has to offer, because I'm probably like forgetting some services, but yeah, definitely look out for that. Speaking of social media, my next tip is to be a bookish consumer, meaning follow people on Bookstagram, follow people on BookTok, follow people on BookTube. If you want, you can fill your socials with books. You don't have to, but make sure you are consuming that content because it'll give you recommendations, inspiration. I already mentioned that my favorite YouTuber is Kayla's Bookish Vibes. My favorite book talker, I actually have two, which is Eden Jonas. I want to say I'm pronouncing that right. Don't butcher me. Then Rachel Sky Reads. She does a thing where it's like, if you watch this TV show, you would like this book, or if you watch this movie, you like this book. She does that a lot. Sarah Read That. She's on BookTok, and she's on all the book things like BookTok, BookTube, and Bookstagram. I follow her on Bookstagram and BookTok, but I like her too. We were talking so much about social, I forgot to say follow me on social: TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. Okay, now back to the video. The next tip, if you want to set a reading goal, I would recommend you set it at 12 books. So that means one book per month. That way it's not too stressful, it's manageable, and you'll be able to enjoy your reading more. First of all, let me back up. You do not have to set up a goal. Girl, you can read, you could take one book, read that all year. Like, as long as it's enjoyable, it doesn't matter. But if you want to set goals, I say one book per month. Especially if you don't know your reading pace, you don't know how many books you can read. Like, it might take you a month to read a book. You know what I'm saying? You won't know that if you're just getting back into reading. And also, you can pace yourself. So this year you could read 12, next you can read, you know, if you want to double it, 24, 36, 48, like you can do whatever you want. Or if you want to do it little by little, 12, 15, 18, you know, you can just You can set your own pace, like, and if you go above 12, now you know, but if you're still at 12, you can do it little by little. It just really depends, but I would recommend as a base 12 books a year if you're just starting out. My next tip kind of touches on what I was talking about before, which is think about the TV shows and the movies and the kind of media that you watch or that you just consume on a daily basis. Now, I say think about the things that you rewatch, because if you rewatch it, obviously you like it. I recommend using ChatGPT. I would type into ChatGPT, I like XYZ, you know, movie, TV show, whatever. Can you recommend me some books that are similar? I think that would be very helpful. Next thing is second important, probably just as important as the library tip, which is you do not have to buy all of the things that you see on BookTok, BookTube, Instagram. You don't have the funding or not really sure if you even like reading like that, I would recommend just use the library. The library has a plethora of books that you can read from. You don't really have to buy physicals if you want, like with your own money. You don't have to buy Kindle if you don't want. You don't have to get the little accessories. Like, you don't really have to buy all the annotating supplies if you want. You could just read for the fun of it. It is enough, actually. That's enough, because reading is supposed to be fun. It's a hobby. It's not supposed to be a chore or something you feel like you have to keep up with. Lastly, this is my last point, which kind of touches on the previous point, which is annotating. Now, annotating is not something that is necessary. You will see it everywhere. I would recommend annotating once you've found your niche and what you like in books, but also your niche and what you like in writing, because everybody's annotation system is different. Some people just highlight quotes, some people do plot points, and I know like a lot of people do plot points and stuff either to keep up book reviews, like public book reviews. I write my book reviews like on my Notion page, which is private, so I kind of like, you know, annotate for things like that, just so I can remember and I can flip back and see, like, you know, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. Or like some people struggle with reading but they still want to read, so they'll annotate. You don't have to do it at all. Like, you can just read for the hell of it, and then once you know what you like and what you don't like, you can build an annotation system on top of that. I can even do a video on my annotation system if that's something that y'all want. Those are all of my tips. A beginner, or if you want to get back into reading as a hobby. If y'all have any more tips, tricks, anything, leave them down below, because we share in this household, okay? We don't get cute at all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you like my vibe, and I will see y'all in the next one.